Good morning, students. Today we are going to start our topic World Trade Organization. So, as we have seen, India after independence, it has lots of barriers on trade. There were lots of restrictions on investment from other countries. But over a period of time, India followed the policy of liberalization of foreign trade and investment. There was free flow of export and import, and investments were allowed by the other countries in India. We are talking about the investment from companies which are operating in different countries of the world. So, this happened in 1991 when India followed the policy of liberalization, privatization, and globalization, popularly known as LPG. Liberalization is when the barriers and restrictions are removed and the manufacturers are able to have more freedom. Privatization also followed, where private sector was given a major role. Globalization means when there was a free flow of trade, more and more exports and imports. So what is WTO? Now we come towards WTO. WTO is a World Trade Organization which is responsible for making trade more flexible, more easy, without restrictions between different countries of the world. So what is the function of WTO? This is an international organization. The main function is to ensure that there is a free flow of trade. Trade runs smoothly and freely between different countries of the world. How does it achieve this? By making countries lower their trade barriers and through more and more negotiation between the member governments. It breaks down the barriers between the countries which are restricting the trade, which are restricting the investment. Although there are now 164 countries which are members of WTO. Although WTO is supposed to free trade for all the countries in practice, but it is seen that the developed countries, they are unfairly, they have used the trade barriers, they are retaining their trade barriers, but only developing countries, WTO force them to remove their trade barriers. So let's see a very good example in this section. Debate on trade practices. If you see, this is a box given in your books, and this is an example. Here what we are trying to do, we are trying to understand about US and India. Okay, in US the agriculture sector provides employment to very few people and very few contribution to the GDP it has. Okay, in case of US, only 1% is the GDP coming from agriculture, and total employment it is generating only 0.5%. As compared to India, you see so much of people are employed in the agriculture sector. So many people are there. 50% population is still dependent on agriculture, and it is also contributing in the GDP. So much it is contributing in the GDP. So there's so much difference in the situation of US and India. But what we are trying to concern here is agriculture. Those people who are involved in agriculture, They are supported by the US government. They receive huge money from their government, and they are exporting to other countries also their agricultural products. They are able to sell their products at very low price because of so much support. They are also able to sell their products, their surplus, in other countries at a very low price. So this is affecting adversely the farmers in other countries who are not able to sell their produce at such a lower price. So what is happening in the developing countries? They are saying we have reduced our trade barriers, but developed countries are not doing so. Developed countries are paying their farmers so much money. They are this way they are supporting their farmers. Here what we are doing, the government is promoting free competition, competitive environment. The local farmers, they are competing with the farmers of the other countries at the same level. There is no subsidies given to them, nothing, but they are not supported here. But if you talk about the developed countries, what they are doing, they are supporting their farmers so much. So this situation is very different. That is why we say that this is the debate in the trade practices. Moving on to the let's work out. Fill in the blanks. WTO was started at the initiative of dash countries, developed countries. Students, it is said that the developed countries actually run and controlled and everything by the developed countries. Okay, the aim of WTO is to dash liberalize the trade in the international market. WTO established rules regarding dash for all the countries. Rules regarding international trade for all the countries and see that they are obeyed. In practice, trade between countries is not liberalized. Developed countries like India have dash removed the trade restrictions, while developed countries in many cases have continued to provide protection to their producers. So in this way you will answer it. What do you think can be done so that the trade between countries is more fair? What we can do to make the trade between countries more fair? If all the countries, both the developed countries and the developing countries, all remove their trade restrictions, and the goods and services are exported and imported in the international trade according to its demand, then only we can say that the trade between the countries is fair. Next is, in the above example, we saw that US government gives massive sums of money to the farmers for production. At times, government also gives support to promote production of certain type of goods such as those environmental friendly. Does discuss whether these are fair or not. So here what we should understand, if the government of US is actually supporting their farmers, so their products or their surplus which is sold in the international market at a very low price, so it will destroy the healthy competition. The farmers of other countries will not be able to compete with them. So this destroys the competition, and even if the products are eco-friendly or not, it should not be supported in this way, because it is leading to the destruction of other producers. Here in this case they are the farmers. This is not fair. This should not be done. Now I will talk about the impact of globalization. Globalization, the competition between the local producers and the foreign producers, it has benefited the consumers in all the countries of the world. Now they have the greater choice. More choices are available to them. Different quality of products are there. Prices are also reduced because of this competition. So the customers, the consumers have benefited. Secondly, if we talk about MNCs, they have increased their investments in different countries of the world. This has resulted in more jobs, and MNCs are able to expand many industries through their investments, like automobile, banks, electronics, and so much more. Thirdly, many Indian companies, big Indian companies, they have also benefited because of this competition, because they have improved their standards so as to compete with the companies from their foreign countries. Indian companies are becoming multinationals, and they are spreading their expansion in other countries of the world. Globalization has created so many opportunities for the companies, especially IT companies. A lot of other companies has also benefited, like data entry, accounting, administrative task, engineering. They are also benefited because they are able to gain, now they are being operated in India, and they are able to export to the other countries of the world because they provide their products and services at much lower cost. How the foreign investment is attracted in a country. So for this, government has created special economic zones. These are industrial zones, and here there are all the facilities of electricity, water, roads, transport, storage, recreational and educational facilities. Companies operating in these SEZs, they don't have to pay the taxes for 5 years. Labor laws are also flexible on these companies, and in this way the government is trying to attract these companies in the country. They don't have to follow any laws for hiring the workers, and for their wages, minimum wages, and many other things which are there. Foreign companies still demanding more and more flexibility in labor laws. So these are the steps the government is taking in order to attract the foreign investment in the country. All right, thank you, class.